What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a bit of a different video to be kind of going over with you guys. A bit of a Fallout discussion video where I'm actually going to be talking about why I think Fallout 3 should actually be remastered in Fallout 76 as DLC. Now I know a lot of you guys might have just been like, what's he talking about? We just want a Fallout 3 remastered. Well, the reason I'm actually, coming up with this idea is just based on the fact of I don't think we're going to be getting a Fallout 3 remastered for a little bit. I don't know. I think Bethesda might start working on it now that they've been bought, by Microsoft. That means they'll have more studios, etc. to work on it. But I actually believe that Bethesda have other plans. We've heard a lot of news and rumors saying that Bethesda might expand the Fallout 76 map eventually, as, West Virginia's kind of become too full with content right now, and again, it's getting a little bit boring just walking around that same kind of Appalachia that a lot of people didn't like originally. Bethesda have, not really hinted on anything, but fans have speculated that we will eventually get taken elsewhere to a potential different state in, of course, Fallout 76 as DLC. And one that's been very, very highly rumored is, of course, going to the Capital Wasteland. Now, why this would actually make sense is this would bring in so many new Fallout 76 players. I mean, a lot of people don't play it because of how it's not exactly the greatest game. It doesn't exactly have the best record or anything like that. And a lot of people have, kind of gotten over it, etc. But if you can bring back, a glimmer of hope and kind of people's childhood and that, and memories, etc. with Fallout 3 into Fallout 76, players are going to come. More people are going to play, and that's why I believe Bethesda haven't actually made a Fallout 3 remastered yet. I believe they've got plans to do it in Fallout 76, and as well as the reason why this makes a lot of sense is because they get to explore a lot of lore that we haven't seen yet. I don't know how much, Fallout 3 takes place after Fallout 76. I believe Fallout 76 is like 150 to 200 years before what Fallout 3 is. I could be wrong, it could be longer, it could be a little bit shorter. I think, if anything, it's going to be longer. But, again, seeing Fallout 76 go to the Capital Wasteland 200 years or so, before what we've seen in Fallout 3 would actually be really cool. Like, imagine if we get to see a lot of new things, like some of the iconic cities that we know from Fallout 3. Imagine if we get to see them, built, or some of the settlements and how they responded to, of course, the bombs dropping, etc. That would be a lot of new things to explore and a lot of lore. And again, as I mentioned earlier, it would get a lot more people involved with Fallout 76. A lot more people would want to, of course, play the game. The reason, again, a lot of people have a lot of evidence to say that they could be going to the Capital Wasteland is Washington, DC is actually very close to West Virginia. I believe it's one of the closest areas that there is to, of course, West Virginia. Not just that, Bethesda have actually explored remastering Fallout 3 before. Now, what I actually mean by this is, for those of you who don't know and haven't seen it, on Fallout 4's Creation Club, Bethesda actually added a little mission / mini or DLC called Capital Wasteland Mercenaries, where pretty much what it is you're playing Fallout 4 and you get tasked to go to the Capital Wasteland, aka GNR Plaza, and actually, kind of help out these people there. You help defend them, etc. You get a really nice quest, and it is just, all fun. But why this was actually very good, I believe, for Bethesda is they got to actually experiment whether or not they could remaster Fallout 3 in Fallout 4's engine. Obviously, they would have had to, redo everything, so you can't really convert it. Because I believe Fallout 3 is on an older engine than what Fallout 4 is, so they probably would have had to redo most of the stuff. But again, 5 to 10% or so, I believe, of stuff were kind of directly ripped off from Fallout 3 into Fallout 4 without them having to put too much effort in redesigning everything. So again, for Bethesda to see that they can, of course, do that experiment with Fallout 4's engine then that would be a very similar thing to what they could do with Fallout 76's engine. So again, it just makes so much sense for Bethesda to, of course, go back to the Capital Wasteland. You know, for Fallout 3 into Fallout 76, we learned so much new lore. It would bring in, I would say, millions of new players. Like, if players heard that Fallout 76, you know, was remastering Fallout 3, so many new players would come back. I am not an avid Fallout 76 player right now. In fact, I haven't played it in ages at the time of making this video. I'm hoping to get back into it, make a little bit more videos on it. But again, I haven't played it in ages. I would, of course, 100% come back if I knew that they were going to be remastering most of the map, or quite a bit of the map of Fallout 3 into Fallout 76. But of course, with, you know, new lore, new locations that haven't been built on, etc., it would just be a load of fun. One thing that I'm actually thinking of, which is coming to mind, which would be really, really cool, is, and I don't know how much this would line up, but I know in the Fallout 3 story, before, again, of course, you're the main character, you and, you know, my boy Liam Neeson, you go into the vault, and you guys weren't actually born there, you come into it, but they, again, the Overseer, I believe, told everyone that everyone in the vault was born there, but again, some of them weren't. It would have been really interesting to maybe explore the vault before the vault was obviously shut down to newcomers, and maybe even go in there and, you know, see how it is. Because of course, we know in Fallout 3 lore, I believe the vault was eventually shut to newcomers, and again, no one was allowed to get in or really leave until the time, you know, came to it. But again, that would be really cool. Imagine exploring vault, you know, the vault in Fallout 3 and seeing how it was before all of this stuff, you know, kind of happened, and maybe actually seeing why they shut the doors to newcomers, you know, in the DLC for Fallout 76. That would be extremely cool. Imagine all the people that, if you were to tell someone about that, imagine all the people that would come in and play it. I believe like 6 million people have bought the game. I could see it going up to like 10 million people if people knew that Fallout 3 was coming into Fallout 76. Not just that, imagine the Atomic Shop sales, imagine how much money Bethesda could also make from microtransactions. If you could buy some of the original Fallout 3 items, etc., maybe even get the Pip-Boy somehow, the Fallout 3 Pip-Boy into Fallout 76, people would go crazy, people would go nuts, it would break the game because people would get back into it, and so many new players, it would be like, again, like a revitalizing the game, similar to how Wastelanders did, but like twice or triple the size of it. So, again, just imagine that. That's why I believe Fallout 76 will potentially remaster Fallout 3 as, you know, some future DLC here and there. So, again, check, you know, watch this space, because I wouldn't be surprised if, like, at E3, if it's on this year, if this gets announced. And if it does, I'm going to be going directly back to this video, pretty much saying I called it, because there is so much lore that they could uncover here. So much, you know, players they could bring in. And what's the best part is, it would get people hyped for an actual Fallout 3 Remastered too. Like, not only would it bring in like 1 to 5 million possible more players, I would think, you also can bring in more Atomic Shop, you know, purchases, etc., expand the lore. Not only would you do that, but you'd also hype people up for a potential Fallout 3 Remastered that, who knows, another studio could be working right now on, as Microsoft have bought Bethesda. So think of it like this, imagine we get Fallout 3 Remastered content in Fallout 76, we get to see what it was like, 150 to 200 years before, I can't remember the years, but again, imagine we got to see that, and then 1 year later or something, 1 or 2 years later, Fallout 3 officially gets remastered. They would definitely hype a lot of people up for it. They could eventually keep expanding onto it more and more. It would just be an absolutely crazy thing, and I'm very excited to see what could potentially happen. But of course, you know, again, I would very much like to hear all of your thoughts and opinions on this down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for all the latest Fallout and gaming content. Don't forget to comment in the comment section down below if you guys think Fallout 3 should get remastered into Fallout 76. Again, I definitely really like to know all of your thoughts and opinions on this down below. But of course, don't forget to subscribe to my sports channel and my IRL/long channels. And don't forget to check out my podcast as well if you haven't already. Links for them will all be in the description down below. But that's all, Sam. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.